Hi, everyone. It's Abby from Gugu Guru, and I am here today with a first-time expectant mom, Kaitlyn, who we have worked with to help her prepare for her little one's arrival happening just at the end of May. So, Kaitlyn, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hey, Abby. Hey, everyone. So my name's Kaitlyn. I live in Austin, Texas, and I am a first-time mom. So going through this whole registry process and preparing for a baby thing is new to me, as well as overwhelming. So having Gugu Guru on my side has been super helpful, that's for sure. I'm having a baby girl, and I'm very excited. So I'm excited to talk about a couple more things with you today, Abby.
Awesome. So we say all the time the number one thing people say to us when they are coming to us as especially first-time moms, but often second-time moms or a second-time mom with multiples or a third-time mom is that they are feeling overwhelmed because it is a big change for your life. And I know the first time we talked was a couple months ago when you were really starting to put together your registry. We talked a lot about must-haves for baby. But I think it's important too to talk about some of those must-haves for a mom, especially a pregnant mom. You have very specific, but like very easy to meet needs when you're a pregnant mom for the first time, thinking about going through this, thinking about your changing body. So I want to talk about some of that with you today. We kind of ran the gamut when we talked the first time about the things that would really make your life easier and more comfortable as you had that baby growing inside of you. And we know she's already so lucky to have you as a mom. But one thing we talked about at first was having a really good prenatal vitamin, one that you can stomach. A lot of people have issues with nausea early on in their pregnancy, and some people have it throughout their whole pregnancy. Did you find any type of prenatal vitamin worked better for you than others?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, in my first trimester, like you said, I was worried about taking anything because I
Yeah,
just didn't want to upset my stomach at all, more than it already was.
sure.
But the type of vitamin that really helped me in that time was the gummy type vitamin, especially the ones that were marked as like maybe easy on the stomach.
Yeah,
And the great thing about that was not only could I take it during the day, maybe after I've eaten something, but I could even find that I could take it before bed and it didn't affect my sleep either.
yeah,
So it was nice to be able to not feel like, oh, I forgot to take it after lunch.
right,
Oh no, I can't take it today because then if I take it before bed, it'll mess with me.
right.
So it was the gummy vitamin that helped me the most.
Right. And we do advise most people start taking a prenatal even before they're pregnant when they're trying to conceive. Some people don't know that they're getting pregnant, and so they start taking it right when they find out. And you can even continue, they do recommend taking that prenatal once you've had the baby, as long as your doctor advises. So that's good to hear. I know the gummy vitamins are a little newer to the market, but we're getting really good feedback from moms too that they're calmer on the stomach and they really can take them at any point in the day. They don't have to remember to like eat before they take them or take them early enough in the day. On that note, I don't know how you felt. I know when I was pregnant, I had to eat something like the second I woke up, and having snacks around my house saved my life from the bouts of nausea that would kind of come out of nowhere.
Absolutely. The things that saved my life were peanut butter crackers, just the pack of 6.
Yep.
That I would usually just have it next to my bed. So as
Yeah.
soon as I woke up, whether I knew I was hungry yet or not, just to keep the nausea at bay, I would immediately put something on my stomach.
Yep.
I would also keep saltines next to my bed because there were times I'd
Absolutely.
wake up in the middle of the night and I'd be like, oh, I don't feel good, or getting up to go use the restroom, and I'd eat a couple saltines and it would
Yeah.
help me as well. But yeah, it was saltines, peanut butter crackers, pretzels.
Yeah. I know. I feel like that salty cracker combination really does help us stomach
Mhm.
throughout, especially the first trimester. But I mean, I know many people who have nausea throughout their entire pregnancy, and so finding the snacks that work and having them strategically placed in areas, or even I love that you brought up the peanut butter crackers because they're individually wrapped packages, and so you can throw them in your purse when you're
Mhm.
out and about. So if it ever hits, you have something on you. On that note, too, I felt like as your hormones are changing, having a water bottle that you can continuously fill throughout the day was key. And I feel like, and I know we've talked about this, you'll feel that way after you deliver too, as your hormones change, whether you're nursing or bottle feeding, it doesn't really matter. If you're nursing, you really do need to up that water. But I remember it being in the hospital and they're like, you have to drink more, you have to drink more, you have to drink more. You just constantly need to be hydrating yourself and taking care of yourself.
I would, yeah. I mean, I invested in a water bottle that I like to carry around. Something about having an aesthetically pleasing water bottle makes me want to drink more water.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
And it helped me remind myself that I need to drink a lot of water. And it just also trying to keep track of how many ounces I drink helps me as well. So that if I have a bigger 40-ounce water bottle, I know I need to at least have 2 of those in the day before I can really feel like, okay, I've had my water intake. But water definitely helps. I can tell the days that I don't drink enough water now that I've gotten used to drinking as much as I should be.
Totally. On that note too, with those hormones changing, obviously your body's changing. And one thing I noticed when I was pregnant, and I know you and I have talked about, is that your skin gets dry. And, they talk a lot. Everybody talks about needing to have a belly butter or a belly oil or something as you have that growing belly. Of course, because that's the one part of your body that's changing the most. But I felt overall that my skin was just really dry. And so having lotion on hand all the time, and it doesn't have to be fancy, but something that I felt safe putting on my body that I knew would help moisturize my skin. My face got really, really dry throughout my pregnancy. But those belly butters, of course, work. And guess what? You don't have to just use them on your belly. You can use them anywhere on your body. They're totally safe to use on your arms and legs too.
I was getting really dry on my forearms even. It's really strange.
Yeah.
So whenever I'd start applying my belly butter, my belly oil, I would just go ahead and just put it all over my arms as well. And I've started to notice a massive difference.
Yeah.
So kind of like the foods, keep it a couple
keep
different
them all over
in the house. I have it next to my sink before I go to bed, next to my bed. I have a little one in my purse whenever my hands get a little dry. And I even have one in the console of my car. Just you never know when you're going to feel dry, and it's just so nice to have that relief.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, the thing we get so many questions about is maternity clothing. And you want to be comfortable. You want to, in today's day and age where so many of us are still working from home, or our jobs have evolved so that we're part-time working from home, part-time going into the office, or maybe you're home with your kids, your older kids, and you're pregnant. It's just so necessary to have comfy clothing. And I know you are very fashion forward. And so you are always putting together the cutest maternity outfits. What are your go-tos? Do you feel like you have to have maternity specific clothing, or do you feel like you can kind of size up in certain clothing and make outfits that way?
I did a little combination. I have to admit that I didn't really start buying anything maternity related until later in my pregnancy.
Yeah.
I was able to get by with the baggier clothes that I already had in my closet, which is really nice. Not to mention high-waisted leggings have become so popular in this day and age that I was lucky that over the winter period, I was able to live in leggings and a cute sweater.
Yeah.
And continue to use leggings I was using before until I got too big. Then I moved on to maternity leggings. But yeah, I lived in leggings, sweaters, and then now that it's gotten warmer outside, just midi dresses, anything flowy. Honestly, any dress that's flowy. I don't do as much as the tight dresses, but I see pregnant women who rock the tight dresses. So more power to you, especially with some tennis shoes. But I don't think you have to do the maternity clothing, but there are some great maternity clothing as well.
And comfort is king. I mean, comfort over anything is really what I always recommend. The last thing I want to talk today about is actually something that you brought up when we were originally talking. When you're pregnant and you're growing, sleep is hard to come by. And so there are, of course, a ton of pregnancy pillows on the market. There was one specifically that I had actually brought up to you, and you were like, oh, it's already on my registry. And you received it off of your registry, and it's the one by bbhugme. And I have so many good things to say about this pregnancy pillow, because I think finally somebody, I received recommendations from so many of my friends. Try this one, try this one, try this one. What bbhugme has done is one has made a pregnancy pillow a little more stylish, which doesn't really matter for functionality, but it doesn't hurt either because it's laying on your bed every day. 2, it's totally customizable to you. And so you're able to really move it around and angle it in ways where you need the support, whether it's lower back support you need, or belly support on your side, or neck support. You really can get that support where you need, and you're not stuck with this like huge pillow that's really hard to move around your bed that's already in like a big U shape. I remember the first pregnancy pillow I tried, and I was like trying to roll over with it, and it was like I had to put my entire body into trying to just move it the other way because I wanted to change sides. It was so hard to move. But you had actually said, "Oh, I'm registered for this pillow. Like, is it a good one?" And I have the best things to say about it.
Yeah, I actually have it with me right here. It's great, and customizable because you can kind of decide the size and the density.
Yeah.
So like the tighter you make it, the more dense it'll make it. So it just kind of goes to your comfort. It's funny because my husband ended up buying me a pillow for Christmas, a pregnancy pillow, and it was the U one you're talking about.
Yep.
And so you would have to use it around your head.
Yep.
I have a pillow already that I'm obsessed with that I use every single night. And I was like, I don't think I want to adjust to a new pillow under my head just because I want to use a pregnancy pillow.
Yeah.
So I like that I can use the bbhugme however I need to and still use my regular pillow as well.
Yeah.
So I'm absolutely loving it. So comfortable. I even just bring it on the couch with me if I need a little extra support whenever I'm taking those midday pregnancy naps that are very much needed at this time of the pregnancy or prior pregnancy. But yeah, I absolutely love the pillow. It's so comfortable.
Do you mind holding it up one more time? So it's one long kind of tube almost.
Yeah.
It has those ends. And I love that you said you can move the white pieces to make it more dense or a little bit looser. So it gives you really the amount of support you need. And that cover totally comes off. So it can go in the washing machine, which is great too. And if you needed a spare cover, like if you wanted a different cover, you could get a spare cover so that you could change if you wanted. One thing I love that you brought up is that you can use it on the couch. And I would say your pregnancy naps on the couch is a great use for that, but also those postpartum naps on the couch.
Yeah.
You're going to use that even more. And so if you bring it from your bedroom to your couch, it is so comfortable. And I actually found that I find that so many husbands end up grabbing it once the baby's arrived because they're like, oh, it's great neck support when I'm like laying in bed watching TV, or oh, it's great lower back support. It really is. And you can even like tie it around your waist and sit on the couch for lower back support while you're nursing. They do make a nursing pillow too, which I love. But I thought it was so funny that I brought up that pillow and you were like, wait a second, I have that on my registry. Is it a good one? And I was like, yes, it is. It's a fabulous one. I highly recommend it. And I think it was one of the first gifts you received.
I think it was, it was like definitely one of the first 3 for sure, which I was stoked about because we all know how important sleep is and
absolutely
be as comfortable as possible.
Absolutely. And and the joke, of course, is sleep now before the baby comes, or sleep when the baby sleeps. And the fact of the matter is, any of us who have been through this know sleep is hard to come by, but it does eventually come back. And at some point, your kids are going to be teenagers and you're going to be like, oh, they're sleeping till 11. Why won't they wake up and spend time with me? But Kaitlyn, thank you so much for joining me today to talk through some of these pregnancy must-haves. I'm really excited to hop on future calls with you too and talk through some of the other must-haves once baby girl arrives and really figure out feeding and sleep and all of those things. We are just so excited for you. And thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Abby. Always appreciate all the help and recommendations.
Of course.